right, welcome to Matters Arising on Landslide News, where you can get an in-depth analysis into, like I normally say, what was said, what was not said, the blinking of the eyes, what it meant, and what it did not mean. And glad to have my guys back again. Okafor is back, I've told you before, and you'll be seeing his bros on fire. And I have Peter as well.
Thank you for having me.
Pio, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Not be Pio again.
You don't know.
Fake Pio.
They get your original. It's fake.
Okay, so let's kick off with the real Pio.
Yeah.
Yeah. The real Pio has been the real Pio.
What do you mean real Pio?
You are the fake one.
I'm Pio.
All right, the real Pio went on CNN and was on the back trail of the government as usual. That's not a problem to me. It's something I heard over the weekend from a very dark man. I said he doesn't really eulogize Tinubu for doing all the good things he's doing. And he said, if I see the good one, I will say. The police sometimes they work, and I say the same thing with Pew. A lot of people will say that he doesn't say anything good about the government. Maybe possibly because there is an overweight of the bad to the good. The suffering of the people and what it has cost us Nigerians is quite much. Okafor, do you agree?
Yeah, I think there was a time PO, said something slightly in defense of the legislators, but also saying they could waive their right in some form in doing it. Things like purchasing the vehicle for their use and all those resources they require to do their work. That those are constitutional kind of provisions to enable them do their work. But when you don't have enough, that is where the management and all that sets in. So I think essentially PO concentrates on what the government should do. What was he talking about in this interview, in this recent statements? He was talking about ensuring that insecurity was attended to. PO believes that without attending to this security, other things, it becomes near impossible for you to be able to really achieve other things, and which is true. Such we do not see it as more criticism, because the primary objective, the primary function of any government is security of life and properties. You can't start from the secondary or any other one. What is so difficult in attending to this insecurity? People can't travel freely. Our farms are abandoned. These days, I don't know how to put it. Benue State in particular is being troubled every now and then. Not to talk of Zamfara, not to talk of our mining that should be coming into our ports, but is going illegally into other people's ports. There's nobody, not just opposition. Remove policies, put politics aside. Because what I'm saying you should put politics aside is that even this opposition that PO is playing at the moment, it is becoming unclear whether he will be the beneficiary of it, because people like Goodluck Jonathan might be joining the race and things like that. And if somebody like Goodluck Jonathan comes in, you are not certain PO is going to it's going to make any way, because at the end of the day it's about numbers, not by emotion or pump. You have only one vote, no matter how much obedient you are. If the northern votes are going to count for Jonathan more easily, which guarantee that he's going to do one tenure, a lot of northern people who are not happy with Asiwaju are going to go with Jonathan instead of Peter Obi. You understand? It's only in the south you might say, oh, we have seen the best of Jonathan, we wanted Peter Obi. But in much other cases, people that believe that there is an element of cheapness in any talk, you can still know that Peter Obi is talking from outside. He's not inside yet. Being a governor of a state is a lot more different from being a president of a nation, because you control the fiscal policies of the nation, not just running a budget, not just, you understand, every index of immigration, index of defense, index of economy. These national issues are on your table. And what PO is saying that you should attend to insecurity first. The vast land we have in the north, what are we using them for? Banditry has taken over instead of farming to take over. What is so difficult in that? I don't think he's operating from not seeing anything good in Asiwaju. No.
Okay, all right. I'm still going to stay with you for a while because you mentioned insecurity just now. It saddened my heart to just reflect and think that students that came to graduate from law school just rejoicing and happy that they've been called to the Nigerian bar were going home back to their state and they were kidnapped. Is it not enough to talk about in this country? And we have not seen an outcry and a barrage of calls from government officials to make sure.
You see why I don't respond to things like that. I don't think any life is more sacred than the other.
Yes,
because you are graduating from law school doesn't make you peculiar to a farmer in the farm.
Yes.
I think before now, even before the event, after the event, people should speak up like the way PO is speaking up in general. The old woman they killed in Benue, the farmer they killed in Benue, the uneducated, the illiterate, they kill in Zafara and Katsina. In life, all lives are sacred. All lives are sacred. That farmer can give birth to the next president of this nation. So we shouldn't say, oh, because you are educated, you have the double life, now people should speak up. People before now should be speaking up. It shouldn't be seen from point of antagonism. Oftentimes, it could be to draw the attention of the government. When you are at the front seat, you could be speeding, you are driving. It might take the effort of the neighbor to say, slow down. I mean, you look at your speed limit. So sometimes, some of these things draws the attention of the government. And we pray and hope they hear. It's not about the next election, 2027. I will take it against PO if he's making any statement that are not factual. Truth is that insecurity that we are dealing with now, I didn't believe that after 2 years running, we are moving to the third one, that it should be at this level, even increasing after all we went through Buhari. Let me tell you, when Buhari was leaving office, there was this certificate people gave that in a kind of satirical manner for surviving Buhari's government. If we by 2027, I don't know the kind of certificate people will issue, if only insecurity. Granted, this government have done a little bit of some economic things at a macro level, having some element of stability. Had it been the cost of servicing their debt had not increased in real value.
Okay, so let's stay with his interview on CNN. Let's look at the economic part. He talked about how the economy has blossomed. Okonjo-Iweala spoke about spreading social
network. Yeah.
So exactly. But we've not seen all of that. There's still a lot of palpable economic downturn. The macro economy has not fallen to the micro. People are not eating the dividend of it. We've seen the borders being open, maybe some grains coming in, but we've not had the impact of life much easier for the people.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because statistics they wrote that most of them, if you look at them critically, you understand why it's not so. The praise itself for the money has come in through foreign direct investments into our economy. But look at it critically. Those foreign direct investment they're talking about, where is it coming to? It's mainly going to our money market. How much of it has gone into infrastructure, production, security? No. See, no man will ever want to invest in a economy that is not stable. See, you can't bring your money into a business venture that you are not guaranteed to make profit until we tackle insecurity. What we will do, people want to look for short-term investment. What is our bond? What is yield of our bond? How much interest we get from buying bonds from Nigeria? That's what we look at. Why the major issues are left behind? See, until we start producing, until we become a producing nation, most of these statistics they are reading out will not reflect our lives. See, people talk about subsidy. What's wrong with removing subsidy? Nothing. But subsidies are in twofold. We talk about cost recovery and market price. What do I mean by cost recovery? A farmer goes to farm to produce yam. What is the cost of that production? Example, he spends 2 naira to produce this yam. And for him to subsidize that thing, he must not bench it on market price. You could help their farmer recover the cost, they add the margin on top of it. But most times when they talk about subsidy, they talk about market price. We are not importing crude oil. We are producing it here. So one can't look at cost of producing crude oil and add the margin on top of it. Why bench our crude oil on international market price? Example, a farmer, you can't say because now you are producing yam at 20 naira and your children want to eat yam. Yam in the market is 18 naira. You say your subsidy is 18 naira. Your cost of production is 20 naira. The cost in the market is 18 naira. You can't because of that say your children you are subsidizing the yam by 16 naira. No. You should recover the cost. The cost of production is 20 naira. So you should add the margin. What Nigerian government is practically doing is that they are saying they are subsidizing a product they locally produce. What is the cost of producing oil in Nigeria? That's what question we should ask. Not what it says in international market. You get what I'm saying? Because we are producing locally here. So why must we benchmark our raw material
according to
international market? So every country, America as today, they say subsidize their grains because you know the cost that a farmer incur in producing it. Based on that cost, you talk about subsidy. Subsidy is the major key play in every nation's life. Till tomorrow, China still controls the currency. That is the fight between US and China for a long while. They say China manipulates the currency. They didn't leave it to market to determine the price. So why our own different? Why is Western world forcing us to let our things be determined by market price? So until this year, said the statistics they are doing that, until it reflects on people's life, it makes no meaning. They say our economy has stabilized and we've met our target for non-oil products we've met our target on non-oil products, and yet we still go out to borrow. Since two scenarios, it doesn't join. If say you have met your target, so why the borrowing? Why is it not reflecting our lives? You remove subsidy. Yes, let's grant you that you removed it. Where has the money gone to? You took money from 250 million Nigerians. You shared among three people: president, governor, and local council. Where is it going to? Have you invested this? How you have invested this money into a critical set of this economy? We have seen the effects. When I think it was it Abacha or Jonathan did it, producing Shopee, there should be something that will cushion the effects.
Okay, now there's a reason for that, which I think there is a reason for that because during this kind of time, Abacha was one of the first person that did it, where he had a place where the money could they call I think
PTF, yeah, PTF.
And they were used for, but the constitution now doesn't allow for that really, because the constitution says that every income that comes in
must go to the federation account and it should be split. As some of our Jonathan tried to do this sovereign wealth investment, and Fashola and Mechi and a few APC governors that time took Jonathan and Okonjo-Iweala to court. So yeah. But let me tell you, it would not to have encouraged Asiwaju to have done anything unconstitutional, but at the end of the day, you see, the way you split this money, you can also agree with the governors that we are putting this, we'll pass through the channel of the constitution to send this money to you. You that have power of appropriate this into this joint fund so that we can reach the people. If Asiwaju has done that, the people will fight for him if the governors say no. No governor will ever want to work against his people at that time that they were just coming in. It takes some time for you to sit very well in governance, in any new position. At that time, it's okay. We are removing this money for subsidy to ensure that we do not breach the constitution. Money going into a federation account, we shared normally, but let us set up this fund to get to the local people.
But let me tell you something. They have funds or there's a way.
But that's not what Obi was anchoring on.
I know.
Obi was anchoring more of using the money to develop critical infrastructures,
education.
Even in that oil sector, in power sector, which he says doesn't take so much. And I believe him. Every project have a delivery date. Yeah. Why? What is the delivery date of delivering power in Nigeria?
Okay, so let's
transcending from one government to the other.
Okay, so let's dwell on this. From what he said, it absolutely shows that what has really derailed us is corruption. And he's looking at the fact that this present government has not been able to tackle corruption.
Yeah, they have not.
And it's like they are an accomplice in this corruption.
Let me tell you the disappointment. Not to mention anybody or single anybody out. Nigerians have come to accept corruption. You see very poor people who are impoverished opening their mouth to tell you, after all, he has been governor for two tenure and was a senator and is a minister, even though he has a house in London that worth $10 million. It's not that bad. At least he's performing. When he performs, you see, that is endorsement of corruption. Going into the government, you shouldn't come out richer. Yeah. Going into the government, you should not come out richer. As a matter of fact, you should come out poorer, because it's supposed to be service to the people. When you say, oh, I'm going to leave my business today, I want to be a legislator, I want to be a governor, I want to be this, it should be opportunity to serve the people. Selfless service. That's what public service should be, not an avenue to become richer at all. You'll be using Phantom, using Rolls Royce, using those vehicles, and people, even the ordinary persons that should hold you to account, are making excuses even for you. You see the followers. You understand? So, and check all their life. What is it that they have done? And this government has not even done anything. Nothing. These are the people that said Jonathan's government was too corrupt. Buhari came, he amplified corruption. This one has come, nothing has been done. It's even worse. There is no evidence that they are fighting corruption. No single evidence that they are fighting corruption anywhere.
Our president was in Brazil. He told the world that he has eradicated corruption in Nigeria.
Yes, eradication is a benchmark. Okay? If it is a benchmark, like I'm not trying to say giving tips is wrong. I used to tell you that there's something you find in foreign countries. Like Nigeria, you do something for somebody, or got nothing for the boys. It looks like they are begging. But abroad, they have receipts where they call it trip.
Tips, yeah.
So once once the people accept it, you can say no more corruption here. If stealing has become normal, then it's no longer a crime. If because you belong to a particular party, you cannot be prosecuted for any corruption. It becomes no more corruption. It's about benchmark. It depends on where you're operating from. You understand me? It depends on your materiality. Well, what becomes a crime is dependent on the people eventually. It depends on our law eventually.
Okay, all right. We will still stay, because you just touched some honest bunch and talking about the legalizing of corruption. Now, in legalizing corruption, we've seen a lot of state government do what they like in their governance. Is there any way the presidency, whichever way, I don't know, legally could have been able to call these people to reprimand them or something? Is there any way?
Actually, I think we do have enough agencies to fight corruption. Okay, even while I think it's faulty to really allow the money to leave the coffers of the government, now ask another agent of the government to start chasing them is nonsense. It's nonsensical. When you have internal audit and all our payments are made through digital system, no payment should actually leave the cover of the government if it has not been fully vetted to be attached to product, to be attached to activities, to be attached to services, or to be attached to anything that will have works, goods, and services. Apart from maybe personnel remuneration, promotion, every other thing that government does, go and check the procurement, is under works, goods, and services. If these things are not vetted, that money should not leave, so that we also save the money which FCC used in hiring SAN in order to go and defend somebody that the money left from the government. And it just another, we have internal auditors, we have everything in that department. That I don't understand. Is it a way to create employment? It's like you allowed Jonathan said we should separate goats from the yam. We were laughing, but that's the solution. Okay, until we realize that the source where that money is coming from, the control has to be as strong as something else, because it takes a larger effort to cure than to prevent. Prevention has always been more effective than to cure, and you may never be able to cure.
Now we have a state government, for example, that say they enter into an agreement with an international agency, right? to do something in their state. In findings, they found out that this agency doesn't exist at all in any way. That's number one. Number two, we have a system of the presidential system where you have the state, the federal, the local government, the state and the local government. They procured a judgment from the Supreme Court and said that these three tiers of government should operate on their own. This particular president was the one that was a big advocate of that system. And as we speak, the local government is still under the whims and caprices of the state. And the president looks on.
No,
is that not encouragement of corruption?
I don't think it's not all states. Like from what we've heard from Oshu State, you see that they have different rules for different people. The current fight in Oshu State is that the council that was sacked by court, I have an account that was open for them. And since March to date, money has been paid to the account instead of joint state account. So that is the major issue this government is having. Transparency is lacking. And because when there is no transparency, nobody tends to believe you. Then you talk about the state governors and their stupidity. The major issue is that the house that is supposed to checkmate the state governors are the appendages of the governor.
They've been caged.
They've been caged. So the level of corruption in the states, federal is playing. A governor can decide today to make you a billionaire. What happens? He can decide to offer a contract today and give you 100% mobilization. There is no checks and balances in our states. That's why a state could go come out on national television and brag that he has signed a joint venture with an entity that does not exist. Who vetted it? What was the procedure like? How do they engage your state into this venture? Nobody asks questions in the state levels. Governor is a demigod. He controls whatever happens in the state. So federal government procuring that judgment was good, but isn't it true? No. Most states still have joint state account where the money comes into, and they give to the council what they want to give to them. It's showing that them too does not respect the courts. Since our federal government does not respect the court, what do you expect of the individuals to do? So that's my take on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
The local government structure is still being ignored, and the presidency refused to give any verdict on it.
It's unfortunate that we have a judiciary that has chosen to be lame. You know, a while ago, the CJM said that the judiciary we are going to see in the nearest future is going to be something else. You know, when she said that, I mean, we were happy, meaning that she understood that there was something wrong with the judiciary.
We all clapped.
Yeah, we all clapped. But at the end of the day, it's getting worse and worse. You know, it's terrible that you have a judgment from Supreme Court and it will not be obeyed, and it will be left to lie fallow like that. There is a judgment that has said this local government is autonomous. That judgment wasn't even necessary for us to recognize that. That judgment was to confirm it. And it's an order. Court judgments are to be obeyed. They are not discretionary advice. So we begin to wonder the flagrant disregard of the judiciary, and judiciary themselves are playing the role to help the executive do whatever they want to do, rather than control them. Do you understand? Yeah. So it's sad that while the executive have chosen not to, by any means, not even ordinary kickbacks. Do you know the corruption that comes from kickbacks? Forget about even the inflated contract first. The inflated contracts are for these, they are foreign selected contractors, not even local. Locals are passing through the BPP. Most of them, their projects are always resulting at loss. I can tell you.
That's the
local ones struggling. And once you see them with this foreign contract doing everything, that's where they lump it. That's where they keep it. And the kickbacks, they are killed even the local contractors with kickbacks. You can stop kickbacks with simple policy. That policy is even existing. They just don't follow it. It's called first in, first out. If you as a service provider finish your job first, I have no business paying Peter because he wants to kick back money to me.
As long as your project is
as far as your project is completed, it's been certified. The system will prevent me from paying this money. So even though you refuse to talk to me, your money must be paid. I can't go and schedule this man for payment by talking to me. That's where the corruption comes. Talking to the director of finance, talking to this, talking to MD, talking to this for payment, pursuing payment. Why do you pursue payment? Because first in, first out is not being followed. If it was followed, you will be paid first. You have no need or power to tell somebody that he must return certain amount of money to you when you must pay the person. That is not the only the point of return. We also have point of return in the procurement, in ensuring that the contractor who bid lowest, who is pre-qualified, because once a contractor is pre-qualified technically, you have no basic reason of not giving it to the lowest bidder. These things are not transparent. They are controlled by the same people, the same set of people, not all civil servants, the same politicians who are earning salary and they have gratuity and pension coming. The same public servant, mostly those in key position, not all, some are suffering. Those in key position who are earning salary from the people's money, pension is coming, they are the ones. These same key people, you are earning salary, your pension is coming, gratuity is coming, you're also the one controlling contracts, controlling services, controlling training, controlling everything, determining who and who not to give. So everything that leaves the budget, they see the federal government budget as their personal budget. They see the budget of their department as their personal budget. Some people tell you, say, I cannot finish this budget without getting social amount for me. A public servant stifling the economy by stifling the private sector. All private service providers are their servants. They are simply their servant. Some of them are as rats, and they choke them in such a way that because they have to feed their family, some have to pay their staff, some have to get along. You see them take up the precondition, paying 10%, 30%, 20%, and so percent ahead for a job. At the end of the day, you'll be chasing almost no percent, and they're angry, stifling the economy.
Okay, all right. I wish you could spend more time, but we can go on. But we'll still with Obi. You cannot give Obi ultimatum. His engagement subsists till 2027. Obedient movement tell ADC. We heard the news the other day. The ADC people, Bolaji, Abdullahi telling Obi and everybody that has not fully laid their hands off their party to come on board quickly. If not, do you think that's the obedience said no? You can't give us ultimatum.
I began to get confused because I thought this was a coalition, not a merger. If we are coaliting, that does not mean I should leave my house. I can be in my house, who work together for that common good. But if we are merging, I should leave my identity for the new identity. So that is where I begin to get confused in what they set out to do. Are they aware of what they call it? Coalition. Did you understand the meaning of coalition? And who gives you the right to give ultimatum? It has to be free will. If I decide to join, it's my free will to join. And again, having said that, having given him a waiver to go and conduct election, why did it suddenly change?
That election was the mid-year.
No, it has not. A number of election. It has not been done. So why are they feeling threatened? Is it because PDP is going to be that now they want to push for him to jump on board?
Know who is with them and who is not.
Yes, I get this. No, this politics is all about survivor and intrigues is amazing. So they've seen, probably beginning to see Obi body language, the rate at which PDP is going. Maybe are no longer guaranteed that he might be with them. That's why they do what they're doing. But for me, it is a coalition. People should be allowed to join when they feel it's right.
Yesterday, I can remember you told us the difference between a coalition and a merger. You know, and maybe you should still educate us.
Well, I think I primarily read out what the definition of a merger from that of coalition. Coalition is more of a temporary thing. I think I read yesterday from Oxford Dictionary, and it says this. Coalition is a temporary alliance for combined action. Temporary alliance for combined action, especially of political parties forming a government. Why that of a merger is a combination of two two things, especially companies or any organization, into one. You know, you can't say you want to coalesce and at the end of the day you are forcing people to abandon their party and join you. That's a forceful merger. It makes no sense. It's a worthless and baseless statement. It has no value.
It's not from the president's
except you have to come back and fundamentally change what you were doing, which is no longer coalition. And when that is no longer happening, that is going to be merger, you are going to go through various process from the INEC, because the other parties are going to relinquish their identity as a known party and they will cease to exist, like what we had in 2013-2014, where AD, ACN, rather, that came from AD, New PDP, ABGA, CPP, all of them, and the fragment of ANPP that was still left, even for CPC, yeah, you know, which is Buhari's core, then came together and they gave us the party we have today called APC. All those parties, they are no longer there. Do you understand? The identity was killed. So completely. So all the identities were killed. So if you look at that, it's a different thing. You still have to go back to INEC, and it's very, very procedural. That I can tell you. So I think they should have taken the way of coalition. People remain in their party. Like I said yesterday, their fear is if we bring a premeditated presidential candidate, what is going to be of this other ones? The real fear there is about obedience. Fundamentally, what will Peter Obi and El-Rufai do? And in this case that Jonathan is trying to come back, the ADC caucus, which were seen by people to have been a making of Atiku, are scared of what might be of their, you know, fragmentations, you know, from all parties and all that, and they are not our members. So the only way is to hold them first, is to get them to be members and watch what good luck might do.
Okay, all right. I hardly trust any word coming from Akpabio these days, but we still have to report it the way it is. Akpabio says Nigeria must stay together in spite of all the challenges. Most of the time, I normally ask the people that said we should endure, let's stay together, are they enduring? Are they staying with us? Peter, we see them cruising at altitude that none of us even gets to the middle of those altitude. People like Akpabio.
Yeah, he said something that caught my attention and that made so much sense. He spoke about the strength in unity, which is good. So Nigerians, for what I got from there, or he says that Nigeria, we should unite and fight our common enemy. What is the common enemy? Bad governance, insecurity, hunger on the street, poor infrastructure. Our key sectors not working. We should unite and fight. I probably have told us, with unity, there is virtually nothing you cannot accomplish. So let's not fight in this battle individually. Let's come as a group. We are more. They're in a minority.
We're coming from someone like Akpabio.
That's what we said. But I'm not. I'm
you see, it's annoying in Nigeria that those who should be doing are talking. Do you understand? Yeah. I'm on the driver's seat and I should drive, and I will tell people you should drive. His actions, has he shown unity?
No, he's shown unity to Tinubu. It doesn't to John Tinubu. But what I'm saying, Nigerians, they are in the minority. We should come together. But this hunger affects all of us.
Let me tell you, this is a Senate president that denied people of Kogi senatorial representation for more than 6 months, just because he has animosity with a legislator, personal
colleague.
Personal, a fellow legislator, personal, and he's talking about the unity. Are people of, is it not Kogi Central? Are they not part of Nigerians that should unite with other people? Can't Akpabio unite with them for the purpose of the constituents of Senator Natasha?
I forget Natasha as a person
because she's representing people. You see, when people that should do are talking, it's only in Nigeria I find that. I have a friend, a very long time friend. I see him as a brother. He lives in Maryland, in US. He said when certain Nigerian legislators visited, that was in 2019. He said he lost hope. Those were legislators. He said those ones they tell and say Nigeria, I don't know how Nigeria go take survival. He said Nigeria no go good again. These are the people that should make Nigeria good. These are the people that should make Nigeria good. You see, when they are talking instead of doing, showing us actions of unity. Let me tell you, this is a democracy. I keep saying it. I can come out tomorrow and vote for Tinubu, but me not wanting election to hold in 2027 or not wanting a formidable candidate to contest against Tinubu means that I'm against the constitution of Nigeria. I am not patriotic. Anybody who doesn't want an election to hold in 2027, you are not supporting Tinubu. You're actually being unpatriotic. People should understand that. Unity doesn't say we should have election that is not that is below bar, that's not credible. That's not unity. Unity also didn't say that if we have somebody who's qualified to contest against another person, that person should be shut down. That is not unity. We have chosen democracy. We have to run democracy. But if today we say, oh, we are no longer doing democracy, we are going to like what China is doing. You know what China has one party state, and to belong to that party, you have to be among the best. And from that clique of among the best, they select who will be the president, who will be their ruler. And that is why you see the best happening in China. They don't waste money for this frivolous election that is not going to be election. What is the sense of spending money, giving all the billions to INEC, and there's not going to be election? Let's save the money and change the style of government.
Maybe monarchy?
Whichever one, if you want.
Okay, all right. I quite agree with federal government that says all the killings that are happening are not religious. They are just merely the decadence of our society as a result of insecurity and people trying to grapple for what they have. But is it not a problem that can be solved, or are they just trying to defend themselves because they don't want to be dealt with by international community because of the saying Christians are being killed and all that? They are rising up to defend, but the first defense line they need or they should have should be to defend Nigerians themselves. Of course, I agree that the killings they are having are not religious.
Yeah, the primary responsibility of every government is the security of its people and property. And I quite agree with them. There was a time in this country when these killings are religious-based, ethnic-based. But what we are facing today, it has cut across every religion. Right, they were here when they went to mosque and kidnapping people. Are they Christians?
Not just kidnap, killed. And kidnapped some.
So the governors in North that went to go and negotiate with bandits, are they Christians? So now it cuts across every religion. It cuts across every ethnic group. I remember some years back in Port Harcourt, when this kidnapping happened, they were kidnapping white men. We were clapping, no concern us, white men. When the white men disappeared, what happened? They started kidnapping black men. We'll go involved. So when they were doing that religious kidnapping, some zone felt they were safe. At the point, those religions they were kidnapping, they were no longer available. So until we say this as our common problem, we'll go nowhere. Yes, the federal government have come out to defend that is not, but they have not done their primary duty as a government. You've not protected life and properties. You campaign on this mandate. This does not take you by surprise. You are aware of the problem we are facing insecurity-wise. You promised Nigerians that you're going to attack it headlong. 2 years plus down the line, what has happened? Yes, there was a little bit calmness few weeks. And if I came and I said something with Nigeria, most Nigerians didn't take him serious. Instead, this government, we are paying these people to stay quiet. They attacked Erifai. Nigeria has not come out that we are paying people we should crush, people we should go into war with, to let us be. And nobody is singing it as a song. Now it's few states in the north. It will still get those thoughts to be overrun, and you come to south. Why will we engage these people? Why will she negotiate to the point that they'll come to table? We have an agreement with how much we'll be paying them so that we'll let our people farm. And we have a government. We have a sitting government. They are forming a government inside Nigeria, inside government, and we do nothing. Now we have a parallel government. These people now, they've been ruled by these useless bandits. And we are coming to tell us that it's not religious. Yes, we were aware. But do the basics, do what you ought to do. Let Nigerians be safe. Let farmers go back to their farms. Go and place yam in Benue. You don't even travel to Benue for any function. You see yams along the way, they'll be begging you to buy. Go and price one. Nobody goes to farm again because of insecurity. And you're defending what?
Well, okay, before, you know, the last time we spoke about this insecurity, how in Katsina State a lot of local government are now entering into negotiation personally, as local government, with the bandits. I said, is that what we've got into? Because now local government are now negotiating with bandits for them to be able to live in a federating state where the sovereignty of the nation is supposed to be kept by the federal government.
Yeah. Okay. You see, when he was talking about religious or not religious, every security stops at the hem of affairs of our federal government, even that of the local, whatever level, because one, all the highest strata of security apparatus is maintained by them. This is not to excuse whatever happens at the local level or at the whatever level. But the question, you see, if we pick from what Peter Obi is saying, he's saying that this government has not shown commitment to get this thing solved. Whatever strata, local government, integration, whatever has happened. You see, at the end of the day, it's who controls the police? It's the federal. Who controls the army? It's the federal. Every drone being used have identity and can be tracked. Every gun being used was manufactured in a country, either not in Nigeria, some out elsewhere. How do people get this gun? Who is in charge of the border? It's the federal government.
How is the money being paid?
How is the money being paid? It's the federal government. The other day we saw a video where somebody putting on gun, a bandit is doing something like a news conference or whatever. So when you look at what PO was pushing forward, it's about the commitment to this. I kept saying that if in 2027 this government is kind of surprised by the people, you know, for not paying attention to these things, they have themselves to blame. Because 1 year into this tenure, they started campaigning rather than facing what is most serious. Started getting governors to the camp and join them. Those things that are nonsensical. When there is insecurity, when you are not even talking about it, how many bandits are arrested and detained? As at that time, maybe now they are trying to show us some you know, but they were not committed. And Peter Obi was just saying that commitment to this thing doesn't take that long. From day one, you know a government that is committed towards something. What they lack is commitment. I'm trying to not get into the real architecture of their security and all those costs. But we do require that such level of commitment comes from the federal government. You understand? Because it's required if insecurity has to be attended to head on.
Okay, all right. As we begin to wind down, we had some issues in Benin, where the Labour Party, or will I say the factional Labour Party chairman, Julius Abure, had an altercation with a social media influencer, popularly known as Mama P. I want to have your take on that.
Yeah, I think in general, not in support of anybody. Whatever Mama P was trying to talk to Abure, saying Abure has abandoned, the kind of the trust that people, you know, have on Labour Party, that it was his actions that made you not to, you know, be so tied to Labour Party as expected and all those. You know, in whatever format, we must be able to be tolerant in the way we do things. And we must also be civilized in the way we do things. And
let me argue there.
Yeah.
Was she allowed to do that?
Not
as long as she's not physical?
Yeah, you know, that's why I say we must be civilized in the way we do things. There are laws. We have to obey our laws, and verbal attacks and abuses and whatever should not be allowed. There must be tolerance. Okay, if you have evidence of anybody doing anything against you, no matter how lousy you think our judiciary has become, I mean, go and file a case against the person. Let it be that the judiciary did not attend to that. They will not start calling judiciary. You know, coming to taunt people by any means, either by Abure followers or by Mama P herself and her followers, it's not quite right. Even those, let me tell you, that's why cyberbullying, people think cyberbullying is, you know, they hide under the internet, type anything and abuse you. It's as the same as seeing you like this and abusing you. It could be worse. So that is why you see the cyber crimes They are not, it's not including cyberbullying, abusing people, taunting them. It's not nice. There must be tolerance. No matter what you think, if you have evidence anybody has betrayed you or betrayed a cause you belong to, I think attending to it in a civil manner is best, you know, than trying to be physical if it is going to go against your law. If you want a physical debate, you can come to a table like this. Let them sit side by side. They used to have a debate. Call the person for a debate. Go to any media house, any place. Tell them you would like to them to invite this person. That you have a public questions for him. You can ask the person, why did you betray us? The person can tell you, oh, I betrayed you, or I didn't betray you. Look at what you think. See, we should avoid things that will present us as extremists. You know, you can think you are fighting for a right cause. The way you also fight for the right cause is very, very important. Whether on the side of Abure or on the side of Mama P, we should be tolerant to other people's ideas. And before you raise any accusation or even go for that to fight it yourself, which results to self-help, which is even against our law, please be very sure you have your evidence.
From today, I choose Okafor for president.
But it's true. He said it. We should be tolerant. We all Muslims be in the same vehicle. Sometimes we should expect divergent opinion and you should respect them. And my only concern is that all the whole media outlets, they were saying Manapi attacked Abure, though I wasn't there, and they all reported the same thing. From video clips I saw, I think the otherwise was the case. There was a physical manhandling of Mama P, which none of them mentioned. And as he said, it is wrong on both sides. See, we should be able to tolerate each other. We must not like the same person. We have different opinions. Yes, we are entitled to it. I'm entitled to like Tinubu, you're entitled to like Peter, you're entitled to like Atiku. We're all entitled to it. We have reasons for liking who we like, associating who we associate with. So it's sacrosanct, it should be respected, and we should not have boundaries, and we should not cross it.
I'm going to have an opinion on this. We've seen, will I say, the democracy to which we copy how people, what are hurled at them, and the people that voted them into power or put them in place of leadership, tell them how disgusted they are about their leadership. Yes, and the only way they can retaliate by is to turn up being good leaders and all that. And if you've chosen to be
in public space,
in a place or a public space, you must also have a thick skin to make sure you are able to accommodate most of these things. I think resulting to thuggery was just out of it. When it comes to physical assault, we know what physical assault takes. Physical assault takes either jail or a fine or both of them. You know, so I think that one should be corrected. All right, as we wind down, all right, just coming into us, Peter Obi to join ADC after the gubernatorial election. I wonder how this is going to be, especially with the information that we are getting that Goodluck Jonathan is going to go back to PDP.
I think what Tanko said is inserted that he's joined. He said after the Anambra gubernatorial election, they will look at the whole parameter, look at the whole statistics, look at what is before them, then they will make final decision. So no decision will be made on or before then. And Obi joining, he should be certain that that is the right thing for him to do. He shouldn't join because of pressure or coercion. No. He should join because he feels that is vehicle that can take him to his destination. As it stands now, that vehicle is controlled by one person. We all know. We know who controls that vehicle. Does he want to tag along? Does he just want to be a passenger in that vehicle? It's the decision he has to make for himself. Firstly, Obi is an individual. So no matter how much you like him, he needs to decide for himself what he wants to do. So it's his call to make.
All right. Okay, but let me bring this one to you. The INEC talks about Nigerian youth having confidence in INEC because they are registering en masse online. Now, is he having confidence in INEC or just seeing it as a way to express their disgust over the rulership, or let's say rulership now, over the electoral system in Nigeria, knowing that it's only through your card you can make a change?
You don't blow my neck the way they choose to interpret that. like in the morning, I think I talked about it, and I was like, okay, for as much as there is peace, you are going to think you are doing the right thing until somebody tries to knock at your door and say, oh, no. Fine, I say, okay, let me look back. Because Nigerians are very patient people in all, and they are trying to probably use their one more last strength. I can tell you, I can authoritatively tell you, and that is why I am encouraging INEC, whether there is a reform or not, the shenanigans of 2023, where they are bringing in result sheets, they clean with spits from Obiakpo local government and Rivers. They shouldn't do that nonsense. Nigerians are tired. This registration should not mean that these people are ready to subject themselves to that rubbish again. We love our life, we love the peace, we love what we're enjoying, no matter, even though we are not making progress, our purchasing power has been reduced without export index, which should be the benefit of reducing purchasing power. The people are registering so that they can register their grievances or able to choose their leader. It does not in any way mean that INEC has performed well or not. If INEC themselves are happy with their performance like this,
They should be ashamed.
I'm very curious, because all over the world, all the elections, you go and check India, the largest democracy in the whole world, they got their elections in 1 day.
Less than 1 day.
Less than 1 day. Less than 1 day. As they are voting, if the Peter was the 25th person and I vote, you see it's 26th person. If INEC is happy with this, their failure, and they think that people trying to salvage the failure is a kind of accepting their failure, I'm actually ashamed of them. You are doing a voting where you still need to collect writing paper, person used to clean, and when there's a eraser is exhausted, you start using spits to clean it, and you bundle those nonsense you put at the internet after 7-8 days. That's nonsensical. That's complete failure, and you require billions of naira to do that. Let people go for option A for where they will line up and you count them. It's cheaper. We will save money.
Yeah.
What's the sense of buying the beavers and all that? We save money. At least let's save money if we are not getting a credible election. Let's save money to give whoever dictator that we pick to spend. It makes no sense.
My concern is not even INEC applauding themselves that Nigerians trust them. That is not. My concern is that we these people get their cards after registration. We know what happened in the last election. A lot of people went out to register. A lot of youths went out to register. They were not able to get their cards. We saw some of these can be dumped into gutters. We have to have the same thing this time around. Registration is one thing. Those cards getting to those people is another thing.
In good time.
Not even good time. It didn't get to them. Most why it dumped prior to elections. So I think what they should do, they should give Nigerians guarantee that this time around, people that have come out in mass to come out and say, we'll get their cards. They come out because they want to vote. Not after this exercise, at the end of the day, you are disenfranchised, but you don't have a card to vote.
Okay, all right. I think we will just start knocking it off here right now. But before we knock it off, the National Assembly is resuming on the 7th, and a lot of hackling tasks that faces them as they resume. I mean, the case of Natasha is still there, and so many other things. We hear that one of the things they are going to be attending to is what they call this electronic voting and all that. The National Assembly resuming on the 7th. I mean, they've been on an extended break. Now that's going to be cut short. Don't forget, there's a Natasha gate that is waiting for them.
But I think they are ready to put that to behind them. The what's the name of this official of the National Assembly? They was seen, not the clerk, was opening the office of Natasha.
That's the sergeant at time.
Yes. So I think it's high time they let that go. Both sides in a way. Why I say both sides is because even Natasha appealed the case that was where the order
She should shoot to buy
The other Tony State I came from, she did a kind of cross appeal. So that fractional appeal to me, which I think was unnecessary. Yeah, so she too should have.
I think she just lost some cooperation there.
Yeah.
From that appeal.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have done that.
I didn't think she.
Nigerians were already behind.
Exactly, they were behind you. You know, after this, still a political fight.
Yeah.
But there is no guarantee they'll reopen that day because they'll be shifting it. Have they resolved the issues why they shifted it last time? Have they been able to make Minister of Finance to pay local contractors? See, and these things have been shifted. Have they resolved it? So don't start saying until
you see when you begin to talk of local see, let me tell you, if you say this, if you know the local contractors they are owing, because people think only is from this last budget. There are local contractors, parastatals in Nigeria, people who have finished their job 5 years. They have not been paid.
So something should be done
and
about
those
it.
MDs, those DGs are awarding contracts today and paying people today. Meanwhile, using the same building where they inherited, as if, you know, when you take over organization, you take over the assets and liabilities. Because there must be work in progress while you are being appointed. You don't abandon those work in progress when you were appointed to just start giving new contracts to your cronies and start running. I mean, we know what to do. When they say local contractors, these people are not even ready. I can tell you.
All right. Somebody said Nigeria matter not the finish.
Not the finish.
There's no way we can finish.
I want to finish.
Yes. But this way we will call it a day for today. And obviously tomorrow on Landslide News, you are going to still hear us talk about other matters arising. Definitely there will be other matters arising. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for staying with us. Good night.